Martin Borain, the chairman of the peer group, leads the parade for Mondello Park's big day, the 4th round of the European Rallycross Championship. And what a lineup it is. 8 nations represented here at Mondello, and amongst them, there's the man in the middle of the picture just waving there, number 1, Matti Alamäki, who's so far been unbeaten at Rallycross here in the last 3 rounds that it's been run here at Mondello Park. The Norwegian flag. And there, interesting selection, Lestander there in the middle of the picture, representing Sweden, and a tremendous lineup of motor cars in both Division 1, the Group A cars, people like Skogstad here, and that has got about 500 brake horsepower, and then of course the Group B out-and-out supercars, and we could see as much as 7,500 horsepower represented on the grid. People like Will Gollop there from England, bound to be a front runner, and 2 behind him, Dennis Bickerstaff from the north of Ireland, and just behind that again we have Reeves, who won the Division 1 last year. So a tremendous variety of motor cars, a tremendous variety of nations, and of course Ireland, and John Maloney, who is proud as punch today because he was sensationally 4th quickest amongst the superstars yesterday in practice, and will obviously do a good job for Ireland. So that's the lineup, that's the scene. Now let's look and join the action in the heats. Terry Shee on pole position in the second of the Peugeot Turbo 16, so there's his real opposition just coming to the line right now. Will Gollop in the Metro 6R4. Very lightweight motor car. Gollop has been highly successful this year, but I should stress it's not the twin turbo engine in that car. And there is she in the red and white Peugeot, but it's Gollop makes the good start, and going through with him is Van Eyck. And there's certainly a bit of paint being swabbed there, but she's through into 2nd place. The Dutchman is boxed out, and indeed Tony Barney comes up into 3rd.
Yes, Mark Verreck there just trying to get around the outside of Terry Shee, but she not backing off. Now this should give Gollop a chance. Will Gollop unfortunately jumped the start there, so he's on a 10-second penalty. And number 29 as well, Mark Verreck, in the 4th of these cars, also has a 10-second penalty. So Gollop has got to go for it. He still can put in a quick time, but 10 seconds is a lot of a penalty. But look at Terry Shee. Terry Shee diving down the inside. They're both touching there. Shee looking for his quick time. He's not aware of that 10-second penalty. He just wants to go for a quick time. It doesn't really bother him what the penalty for Gollop is. He's still got to put a quick time in. Remember, he's thinking in terms of Matti Alamäki or Martin Shanky. He's got to be in there for that A final later this afternoon. But Gollop at the moment doing very, very well indeed. As Alan said, hasn't got the twin turbo engine in that he used the last time he visited Mondello for an RAC round, which was very, very quick indeed. So slightly underpowered compared to their Peugeot.
So Gollop, a bit of a disaster really for him, that 10-second penalty, because it seemed to coincide, the information coming through to us, with him backing off a little bit, but it's certainly, this run's going to be a disaster for him. Terry Shee, no chicken, he's 40 years old, he's from Norway, he's been at this game for a long, long time, and he certainly doesn't mind chucking it about, as you can see. And Gollop now coming back at him.
Yes, just lost out there on the loose and let Gollop get all that momentum through it. Now he's back on his tail. Actually, he's pushing him through there, trying to try the outside. It's a long way around the outside. He is. Around the outside he goes, and Gollop with 2 wheels on the grass there. But they're back into the right-hander, which is coming back out the straight. If Gollop can get in behind him up the left, but she not giving him any room. But Gollop, superb piece of driving there.
They're on the last lap. Gollop is obviously unaware of his 10-second penalty, because is he trying? Is he what? Down the inside, she leaves no gap, but loses under braking. Now Gollop could be very quick coming out here. But there he gets the traction. Look at this. It's sensational stuff. But once again, Gollop is left to the outside.
Yes, Gollop there diving for the outside of the hairpin to get the quick time, but on the loose here, he's right back on the tail of Shee as they make it to the flag, and I think Shee will hold this to win this heat. There he is, Mr. Rallycross himself, Martin Stanky, car number 2 in the RS200, takes up his position on the inside. The man who thrilled the crowds here 2 years ago, and is very, very confident at the moment that he can do something. Hasn't really had a great run so far. Marshall's hand in the air, and it's a quick start from Shanky. And what a flyer off the grid. And from the outside of the front row, the first of our Irishmen, Dennis Bickerstaff, made a superb start as well, Alan.
Well, Bickerstaff is on good form today. He's so far the quickest Irishman in the first heats. He's been very heavily pressured there by Bert Broden in his Quattro S1. But Bickerstaff now beginning to pull away and impressively staying with Shevchenko, who is chucking that RS200 all over the place. The fourth man is Alistair Galloway in the Quattro.
Yes, and Bickerstaff isn't letting him get away. I don't think he can actually do anything about it, but he's not been lost. Shanky very, very wild getting through the chicane there and still using a lot of tail out. But car bench, Dennis Bickerstaff, the fastest Irishman so far, as Alan said, really carrying the flag there. Very, very quick through the chicane. You see the way he just doesn't lift, gets a lovely maneuver there. But that's Martin Skanke in the RS200, the first of the fours that we've seen. And again, a little bit too tail, in fact, very sideways there. And that's scrubbing off his speed, because when he hits the tarmac...
He's got a puncture in the outside rear, look.
That's his problem. That's his problem. It was little puffs of smoke on the tarmac the last time, so it's not a steering, it's not oversteering for any suspension reason. He's now still going very, very quick indeed, considering he's only got 3 wheels on his wagon. Could damage his suspension here on the rough, taking it easy, but one of those bumps could very easily do it. He's going to make it to the flag, but unfortunately will have slowed down his time, and he won't have improved from the first runs.
And down he goes in the most spectacular way, and that's typical Schenker. That, I would say, is engineered a little bit, and Bickerstaff has just done the same thing. John Maloney on pole position, the man who in the time practice yesterday was quickest of all of the Irish contestants. He's dropped a little bit behind Bickerstaff now, but with an interesting situation, because only 3 cars in this one incidentally, but only 0.1 of a second between Maloney and Pekka Rantanen in the first round. There goes Maloney, makes a good start. In the middle it's Ivan Thompson, who's getting left on the line, and Pekka Rantanen obviously annoyed at not getting across his bows there and getting into the lead. So it's good news for Maloney this at the moment.
Very important indeed for John Maloney to have a quick time, but he's going to have to defend from the front. That means he's going to have to close the door, use the inside lines, which are the slower lines. If he can get a breather at all, if he can just get a couple of car lengths, he can settle down and use the outside lines, which will be the quick lines. Doesn't want to get the tail out too much, has to keep it in tight there in case Rantanen decides he wants to have a look up the inside. And again, you see coming into this very fast right hand on the loose, but he's done it there because he just blocked Rantanen slightly. He's dropped back a few car lengths, and this will give John a little bit of a breather.
And make no mistake about it, John Maloney is an incredible man. From Limerick, 52 years old, champion of Irish Rallycross here at Mondello for the last 2 years, and as sprightly and bushy-tailed as ever. He was like a little 19-year-old hopping around last night with joy when he had put up the 4th fastest time. Now he's got this mighty RS200 breathing down his neck. Pekka Rantanen now looking very threatening this time, but I don't think it would be any real advantage unless he could get through cleanly to try and do anything about Maloney, and he hasn't been able to. So John Maloney possibly a little bit hindered in time by having to defend his rear, but it certainly is a great, great run for him.
It's beautiful again through the chicane, and John is heading for the flag. Rantanen takes it wide, tries to get alongside, and they're neck and neck, very, very close indeed. In fact, Rantanen may have got that. He goes by us here, didn't use any brakes, so we'll have to wait for the official result, but I think Rantanen may have pipped him on the line. Marshall giving the thumbs up, and we've got to change from lights to a flag start, and the inside of the front row, and a very, very good start. Tom McLaughlin there in the little yellow golf getting a good start, but jumping into 3rd place, but there's no doubt about who got the best one, the man on pole position, the leader of this division in the European Championship, Stener Ura-Anley in this very, very quick cadet GSI 16 valve, and amazingly quick. But look at the RS 500 of Seaman just beginning. Oh, and a wheel in the air. That just shows you the grip that's out there on this tarmac. And even though we've had a little shower of rain, we seem to have a dry line back again. This guy is absolutely fabulous to watch. He knows the power of the RS. He's got to keep him on the outside, make him go the long way round. Lets him through, just snaps the nose off him, but the RS going wide. Under braking, he should have it, but that RS is going to close that door. He swaps to the outside for the quick line, just a little tap on the edge to let him know he's there, and he gets up on 2 wheels, and he's going to try around the outside of the chicane. Not a good maneuver against an RS, Alan.
But this guy is amazing because he's giving away at least 200 brake horsepower to the RS 500, and that's what he's been doing all year, and yet he's leading the championship. The following car has only 210 horsepower as opposed to the 500 plus of the leading car on their last lap. And once again, it is almost as if a piece of elastic is tugging along the little Opel.
But once he gets onto the loose here at the chicane, he just has it down to a fine art. He can close up, getting a little sideways there, Simon, but got it very quick that time, again sideways. But three-wheeling it through there in that 16-valve cadet. Uranli, very quick indeed when they get on the loose, but just loses out to the power of the RS on the straight.
So Steinar Uranli coming up to take the flag in second place there, and really a superb performance. And the Mondello crowd absolutely enjoying every moment of this David and Goliath performance. Two of the fabulous rowdy Audis come onto the grid here. Herbert Breitnader, a man we can expect a lot from this weekend, on the left-hand side of your screen. And on the right, Bert Broden, a pretty well unknown gentleman here in Ireland. We've not seen him before. The two cars look very identical. And in the middle, it's Dennis Bickerstaff, who gets an excellent start and is the sandwich, and the meat in the Audi sandwich at the moment. Now, Breitnader needs a good run here. He's already won one round of the European Championships, but look at Bickerstaff. He's certainly hanging on at the moment.
Yes, but Breitnader, once he hits that tarmac, it's unbelievable. He's sideways driving, but Bickerstaff knows this circuit. He's been here for the last Mobile Championship rounds, so he's all over the boot now. This will please the Irish crowd here. They will root for Bickerstaff, and through here, Breitnader has got it up on two wheels on more than one occasion. Car seems to want to drift out wide because of the weight, but on the loose, this man does not lift. But under braking, Dennis seems to have the legs of him.
And what an extraordinary thing the arrival of the European Rallycross Championship to Ireland 4 years ago has done for our local drivers. Just look at this. You're looking at the Northern Ireland champion shadowing one of the very best in the world at the moment and closing on him. This is sensational stuff. Bickerstaff having almost the cheek to come up alongside Breitnader that time, who has to go up at two wheels to stay ahead.
Oh, and off he goes. Bickerstaff just got it all wrong. Unfortunately, they're coming off the loose, and that has rearranged everything. Back suspension gone.
This man is absolute poetry in motion. We saw him the very first time here at Mondello in a Golf in Division 1. He went up to Division 2 last year. He had one win in the championship last year, and already this year he's run his own home round. And just look at the way he chucks round this ex-Walter Roll car. Never one of the prettiest looking machines in the supercar class, but highly effective as the big slab comes up to take the checkered flag, and surely a good time.
Watch in the background, he's just hit the inside curb there by taking it too tight. It launches him across. He can do nothing about it now. He's onto the grass, and at this stage he's doing everything to get the car sideways. He nearly gets away with it, but just catches the bank with that left hand back. The suspension digs in, spins the car around, takes the nose off, and at this stage, unfortunately, Dennis Bickerstaff is just a passenger. And look at that, still the momentum, the speed he came off the loose there. That's his third spin, but the wheel is still going. But you can see the back suspension totally out of shape, but you never know. He might just make it to the final. We've seen them come out with lots of sticky tape. He's got 2 heats and maybe a half an hour to do it.
Well, welcome to what promises to be a glorious piece of Metromania, because we've got Dermot Carnegie from Ireland, Rob Gibson from England, and Will Gollop, the current top English rallycross man, on the outside of the grid. 3 very powerful Metros indeed, and of course all eyes on the total Team PR rally car there of Dermot Carnegie, who is really playing with the big boys today. There's Rob Gibson, used to be the sort of Dick Dastardly of rallycross, but has tamed his act somewhat, I hope, and certainly out-dragging Carnegie at the moment as well. Gollop goes right across his bows, and Carnegie gets through the inside, and poor old Gibson really had a rough ride there.
A metro sandwich, but Dermot very, very wise there. He didn't get a good start. He backed off then. He said, right, I'll let the two lads at it, and if I see a gap, and that's just exactly what happened. Gallop snapped the nose off Gibson, left a gap there for him, so a little bit of puff of smoke out there, but Gallop driving very, very sideways onto the loose. This will give Carnegie a chance. He's diving up the inside. They're side by side. Carnegie will be first into paddock, and the crowd are going wild. He's got to hold that out inside line. Gallop up the inside again. They're changing places, under braking. It has to be Gallop. He won't fight this one because it's a long way to the finals, but he knows now that he can play with Gallop in the sense that if he gets out of shape, he has the power in the straight to match it. But Will at the moment driving very, very sideways, getting it out onto the grass, and this is how you get punctures. He's pulling Dermot along with him. The adrenaline will be really working for Dermot. He thinks, right, if he can go, I will go. And this could definitely give Dermot a very, very quick time indeed. Unfortunately, Dennis Bickerstaff, who had that accident, was the quickest Irishman. But Dermot really coming in under brakes. He said he's had the car lightened. A lot of tweaks done to it for this event, and driving absolutely superb. Just putting the wheel over the sand there at the chicane. Nicely through onto the tarmac, not using as much road as Gallop. Gallop hand down, changes gear on the loose, getting it out that time cleanly, not out, and it's Gallop's race, but the crowd will love that one for Dermot Carnegie. They love that for him to get alongside Gallop, so that's a sign of what is to come. And we'll be back in part 2 at no fewer than 7 finals, so join us after the break for the action.
All the top Irish national competitors. And what a battle it